Good morning everybody, and this is your Forex day trade setups for today. So as usual, starting off with Euro USD, and you can see it looks like we have a fairly strong trend line that is forming now. Yesterday when we did the video, we were basically busy with this third touch. That completed, we did the rejection, and it was also rejection of this level here of 119.571. If we drill down to the 1 hour, you'll see we had the bit rejection there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. There's the first 7 bars. Didn't really sort of fall after that. But what has happened, if you look at the moving averages, we're back into moving averages. We're testing this trend line again. So for me, this is a almost clear-cut short, but I'd want to see a break below these tails here. So on the 15-minute, you see I want to see a 15-minute below there, then stop above there, entry down here, and another continuation to the downside. Now that's kind of my view at the moment. Not really interested in it now, but during the European session at the moment, that is what my view is. This level is fairly strong. You can see how we were rejecting it, and now we've broken through the Asian session. So that is 119.322. That's kind of my view there at the moment. And US dollar, Japanese yen, pretty much going sideways as well. We had the sort of almost looked like a rejection pin bar there to start off, and then it was a range bar, pin bar, and then another pin bar. So that is barbed wire, tails to the upside, tails to the downside. That is a very clear signal, and that signal is stay away. Do not fiddle with this just yet. I'm still sort of the opinion we're very tired at the moment, and it does look like we're either going to continue sideways or alternatively sort of just have a deeper pullback, find some support further down, and then continue our trend to the upside. Trend to the upside is very strong, but this range at the moment is also getting very strong right now. So the longer it goes sideways, the higher the probability you might as well have a coin toss to figure out which way we're going. This one for me is sit on side, not really interested in it. Not even clearing these levels. We're going to have to clear the level properly and come back to test it for me to get long again. I'd prefer to be long at the bottom of the range, somewhere down here. That would be 108.646, or even as deep as 108.334. I suppose we could argue that this area should offer some support as well, 108.947. But that's kind of my view at the moment. British pound, Japanese yen. You can see we've had a bit of a wedge, and first we started off with a rejection bar, just a short little, small little rejection bar. Then that was a confirmation bar, and now we've been going sideways at the moment. So I just have a feeling that we could have a top in here. This wedge, if I can get the edge, is now turning into a channel. Okay, and that typically happens, especially when you get a wedge break. It first tries to form a channel. If that's successful, then it continues in the channel. Otherwise, it breaks the channel, retests the channel, and then breaks further. So that's kind of the structure that's happening on the 8-hour. Trend is up though, so don't want to jump in just yet, but have a look at what is transpiring on the 1 hour. So if you remember yesterday, I said to you, London breakout strategy here would be ideal. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the first 7 bars. There it is there. And let's just drag it along like that. Oh, come on. Okay, close as I'm going to get it right now. So that was the opening range. You can see break, retest, a bit deeper than the 50%, and then the acceleration to the downside. So first 7 bars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's the high of the first 7 bars, there's the low of the first 7 bars. And if you just switch down to a 15-minute now, You'll see pretty much sideways, no real indication of anything. But now we can do that. No break, that wasn't a break, that there was a break there. Back in to test it, you could see a series of lower highs and then the rollover at the downside. So often, the higher probability here, and you had a gap as well, so high probability is always that any break of that opening range with a magnet below is going to attract it and move to the downside. So anyway, that played out fairly well. But if we come back to the hour, at the moment we are below the moving averages. We've broken below, we've come back to test there and rejected them. So at the moment it is sit on hands right now until we break through this level here. But the problem with that is we've also got bottom of channel here. So I'm looking for shorts, I think, probably off the 15 minutes here. And what we're looking for is something like what has happened at the open here. You can see we had a crossover all the moving averages and then a rejection of them. So I'd like to see a pullback into this area of 151.722 or alternatively 151.676 and then a continuation to the downside. So that one is short. Aussie dollar, US dollar. Starting off with the 8 hour, you can see we kind of going nowhere at the moment. The only thing that we do have is a crossover of the moving averages and it looking like a rejection of the moving averages. I'm expecting this to continue to the downside. It's just making really hard work of it at the moment, and we do have the Feds coming out today. Well, not today, it's tomorrow. They'll come out tomorrow with some song and dance, so the market is going to be sort of in whipsaw until then. So at the moment, if you look at the hour, we are up and above and below the moving averages on the hour. This is sideways, no reason to be in on this. Lots of buyers still down here, so they're expecting this trend to continue, but for as long as we're sitting in the moving averages like this going nowhere, I'm sitting on the sideline. There's no reason to be in that. That is sideways at the moment. Euro British pound, at the moment, the trend has been down. We've been sideways most of last week, and we broke a wedge. We'll get to that now in the lower time frame, but look at this nice big solid engulfing green bar, and then we're busy with another one at the moment. So we're not really getting traction. So which again, and I've been saying this most of last week, very typical of a trend reversal. I think the important thing here is look what happened sort of yesterday, and you can see we came back onto moving averages, not a clear test, and we've basically been accelerating since this morning. Well, since we are on an hour here. So since the open this morning, we've been accelerating away. And there's our wedge. You can see a fake out to the downside, test the bottom of the range, and then back in, and then an aggressive move to the upside. Anyway, so let's just get rid of the noise. That's noise at the moment. This to me is really starting to look like we have a trend reversal. So I'm looking for opportunities to buy into this. First opportunity is obviously down here at 0.85831. Second opportunity is going to be up here at 0.85968. Personally, I think the opportunity this morning is more than likely left, so we're going to have to wait for a decent pullback. So you probably find it meander sideways and then sort of move to some resistance, then pull back onto structure. So that's what we're looking for. So looking to buy into this, that is the structure. Nice rounding bottom on the hour after a pretty decent downtrend. And you can see we've had one retest of the moving averages here, continued down, and now we're getting another one. So yeah, I'm looking for opportunities at the moment, and we're just looking for structure, and that structure needs to be a little bit further down for me. And we'll look for sort of a series of higher highs and higher lows, and that should get us, by the looks of things, a half decent trend reversal. Lastly, British pound, New Zealand dollar. So we did get the rejection off the top that we were looking for. It was pretty much hard work of it, so I'm just going to go straight to the hour. There's no reason to be looking at the 8 hour yet, and you can see what I mean by that. So yesterday we were trying to find support, and then we had the crossover and the rejection there. So there is a fairly decent opportunity, but we had a gap ahead, so I wouldn't have taken that with the gap there. But if you look at the structure at the moment, we are moving to downside. So next step, I want a retest of this break, pretty much. So I want a retest of 193350. If I can get a retest of that, that'll retest the moving averages as well as the breakout, and then we're looking for a short. And the short is pretty much first target going to be this area that we're at the moment of 193607. If that gives way, then you're looking for the next area, which is around there, and that is 191879. So those are the two targets there. Anyway, guys, that's it for me today. I hope it helps you somewhat. I see we had a few sort of half decent trades yesterday. Nothing really trending, but remember, when we sideways like this, you can always drop down to 15 minutes and trade the strategy on the 15 minutes, and you'll see you should get some reward out of that as well. Anyway, hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you later. Cheers for now.